Elizabeth Lane Cheney, the daughter of Richard Bruce Cheney, who served as vice president during George Bush's term as President of the United States between 2001 till 2009. In addition to being a senior member of the Republican Party, she is also a representative of Wyoming in the United States House of Representatives. The purpose of this video is to take a closer look at why Liz Cheney lost her place among the Republicans. It was announced that Liz Cheney was going to run for the United States Senate from Wyoming in 2014, but she eventually decided to withdraw from the race when discovered that she wouldn't be able to win. After all votes were counted, it appeared that veteran Senator Mike Enzi of the Republican Party had won this election. Mike Enzi held his senatorial position until he died in 2021. In 2016, Liz Cheney ran for a seat in the United States House of Representatives, which marked the beginning of her rise to prominence. As a result of winning the election against Ryan Green, the Democrat Party's candidate, she was elected to serve as a member from Wyoming's at-large district in the U.S. House of Representatives. It should be noted that his father, Dick Cheney, served in the House of Representatives from Wyoming's at-large district for 10 years between 1979 till 1989. While being a member of the Republican Party, Liz Cheney was able to maintain her control over the votes of the people of the Wyoming in consecutive elections and win the 2018 and 2020 elections and keep the seat that was previously held by his father in the 80s. Cheney reached the peak of her power in the Republican Party in 2019 and was able to become chair of the House Republican Conference and the third person in the pyramid of power of the Republican Party in the United States House of Representatives, and was introduced in various media and publications as the future of the Republican Party. In 2019, it was Kevin McCarthy, leader of the House Republican Conference and a representative for California's 23rd Congressional District, and Steve Scalise, the party's second runner-up, and a representative for Louisiana's 1st Congressional District. In the next order, Liz Cheney was the third person of the Republican Party in the House of Representatives, after Donald Trump won 2016 presidential election against Hillary Clinton. Liz Cheney supported him. Based on the serves during the 4-year term of Trump's presidency, Liz Cheney's opinions and votes were the most consistent with Trump compared to other Republican members of the House of Representatives. The New York Times, quoting Randall Paul, United States Senator, called Liz Cheney a Trumpist, and The Atlantic magazine named Liz Cheney a loyal Trumpist who had greatly contributed to the establishment of the Trump's party. But after January 6th United States Capitol attack, things gradually turned against Liz Cheney. At this time, Liz Cheney announced that she would vote for Trump's impeachment from the office of the president because of his role in the attack of the House of Congress. On January 13, 2021, along with 9 representatives of the Republican House, she voted to impeach Donald Trump from the presidency. But in the end, Trump's impeachment failed. This act of Liz Cheney made Jim Jordan, a member of U.S. House of Representatives from Ohio's 4th District, who was one of the supporters of overturning the result of the presidential election, demanded the removal of Liz Cheney from the leadership of the Republican Party in the United States House of Representatives. On the other hand, former U.S. President George Bush praised Liz Cheney's action in impeaching Trump and Senator Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham supported Liz Cheney's leadership role in the Republican Party against Trump's supporters. On February 3, 2021, Trump supporters in the United States House of Representatives tried to remove Liz Cheney from the leadership staff of the Republican Party, but the vote ended in Cheney's favor, and she remained in her position. Cheney's appearance at the January 6th committee and an interview in which she said she won't vote for Trump if he runs for president in 2024 and will do anything she could to make sure that Trump won't become president again. Also, Liz Cheney continued her criticism of Trump in the Washington Post column. These issues caused Cheney to have disagreements with other Republicans over time. And finally, on May 12, 2022, she was removed from her position in the leadership of the Republican Party. Kevin McCarthy and other senior party members supported Cheney's ouster, saying Cheney's actions jeopardized the integrity of the Republican Party and their plan to win a majority in the House of Representatives. After the dismissal of Liz Cheney, her position in the leadership of the Republican Party went to Liz Stefanik, a member of the U.S. House of Representatives from New York's 21st District. Stefanik was one of the representatives loyal to Trump and her supporter in overturning the result of the presidential election. Trump also played an important role in introducing Stefanik as the main choice to succeed Liz Cheney. After choosing Stefanik as the successor of Cheney, Kevin McCarthy considered this choice an action for the unity of the Republican Party. Liz Cheney's downfall continued after she was removed from the leadership of the Republican Party. In the 2020 election, she was able to defeat Lynette Gary Bowe, the Democrat Party's candidate, with nearly 70% of the votes. But she faced a big challenge in 2022. In the last 20 years, Wyoming has always leaned toward the Republican Party in the presidential elections. And for this reason, George Bush, John McCain, Mitt Romney, and Donald Trump, the candidates of the Republican Party, received the electoral votes of the state in the last presidential elections. Liz Cheney has gradually lost popularity among Wyoming people after falling out with Trump, jeopardizing her position as a representative of the people in the U.S. House of Representatives. Harriet Hageman, a Trump-backed candidate in Wyoming, won nearly 2.5 times more votes than Liz Cheney. She will represent the Republican Party against Lynette Gary Bowe, the Democrat Party's candidate. Liz Cheney, who was once announced as the future of the Republican Party, gradually lost her position in 2022. First, her popularity decreased in Wyoming. Then she lost her position in the leadership of her party in the House of Representatives. And finally, her representative seat for the state of Wyoming will be given to another person, Liz Cheney, who was one of Trump's important supporters during his presidency, joined the ranks of Trump's critics after the January 6th incident and gradually faced a serious challenge to her position in the party based on this decision. After accepting her defeat in the House of Representatives, Liz Cheney compared her situation to 19th century American President Abraham Lincoln and announced that she will be back soon. It remains to be seen when Liz Cheney's lucky star will rise again. Is she going to play an important role in the history of the United States following the example of Abraham Lincoln? Only time will tell.